said this up front. I don't recommend people just quit their 9 to 5. I do not. Don't just quit it. Some people say, go on, live your dreams. You only live once. YOLO. No, and no. Because the bills still have to be paid. So what I did, and I'll tell you this part of it before I forget, I gradually worked into leaving my 9 to 5. Okay. I gradually worked into leaving that job. And how did I do that? How did I know it was time? As the business started growing, I realized how many missed opportunities I had. So I'm sitting here at work making, this amount per hour. But I realized, okay, wait a minute. If you go ahead and take all the assignments that are coming your way, you can actually be making more money. So again, that takes some time and planning. Everybody's circumstances are not the same. I am married. So at the time, my husband was working. So my income was not the primary income. So again, I'm not going to tell anybody just quit your job. Hey, Chantel, how are you, girl? So I'm talking about today how to start that business working 9 to 5. I know you want to do your gambling business. That we talked about that before. And I've told you this too, Chantel. Do not leave your full-time job. Just quit it. I never advise that. You have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. And part of that is making sure that the money that you're making will cover your regular expenses. So you need to not just say, okay, wow, I made $1,000 this month or $1,500, $2,000, whatever the dollar amount is. You need to make sure within that dollar amount that you made and you feeling like, you're doing well in your business, you need to actually make sure that it's enough to cover lights, gas, your homeowner's insurance, your apartment insurance, your car note. You need to make a list, a budget of everything you have to pay is another tip I'll have for you. Don't just quit your full-time job. You need to know exactly what you need in order to make it work, okay? In order to crunch the numbers. Now, I will say this, when you leave your full-time job and you're working for yourself, some of your expenses that you had before will be reduced. For example, when I left my full-time job, I realized that, okay, I don't need the same amount of clothes anymore because now I could wear kind of like just some black slacks, a nice shirt, keep it moving. I don't have the same lunch expenses because now I'm cooking at home. I can eat at home instead of buying lunch out every day, hanging out with the people. That's a whole vibe when you work outside the house. You want to treat yourself a lot of days. The same gas expense because I'm working closer to home. I wasn't working in the city anymore. So all of those kind of things you can factor in that when you're thinking about the math, because the math has to math, okay? And then build a network is something else I'm going to tell you to do. While you're building your business, collaborate with people doing the same thing. For example, if you cut yards on the weekend and somebody call you and say, hey, man, I need somebody Monday, 2:00 in the afternoon. Well, you can't do it because you're at work. They can't wait for you on the weekend. They can't wait for you till you get off work. They need it done right then. Collaborate with somebody else in the same industry that you can give that work to. And then hopefully they will reciprocate and they will give you some business too. Hey, Just Ashar, how's it going? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. So hopefully they will give you business also. So when you are starting a business, it's a lot of different ways to go ahead and get it started. And then it takes time to build a business. Use your money that you're making at your W-2 job or your 9 to 5 job to help finance your secular, your dream or your entrepreneur job. Okay. You need to use that money for that purpose. So for example, you're working 9 to 5 and you're trying to build a cleaning carpet business. Okay. You need supplies. So you'll take some of that money that you're making weekly and use that to buy your supplies. Okay. So instead of maybe buying coffees at the 9 to 5 job, now I'm saving money because I know I need to buy this piece of equipment, or I know I need to get my insurance started, or I know I need to buy my uniforms, my business cards, okay, etc. So what I plan to do with this channel is, and you guys have any questions, let me know. What I plan to do in the next few weeks, hey, welcome everybody. What I plan to do in the next few weeks, I'm going to come and we're going to build out this business step by step. We're going to talk about the EIN number. We're going to talk about an LLC, when you need it, what it is, how to get it, what kind of insurance you need. And everything I talk about is applicable to all businesses, okay? Because if you know how to run a business, you know how to run a business. And all businesses have the same basic structures, okay? You got to have somebody that wants your product. You got to know how to price your product. You know, I got to know how to sell the product. You got to know how to service the product and service the people. Anything you do, I don't care if you're a doctor, if you're a dentist, if whatever you do. Okay, so we're gonna help. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna take a segment and I'm gonna see how I'm trying to see how to best do it, because weekly could take us 9-10 weeks. You know, because it's steps, step by steps. Do I come in and just do one? Do I do twice a week? So I'm trying to figure that part out right now. So let's see what Chantel says. Stressed out. I had already quit too late. Got tired of the BS and I was working part-time, but now I'm taking care of my mom. My leaving my former job was a blessing. My mom really needed help. And that's the thing too. So if you have family members, because at the time when I was actually in the real process of leaving my full-time job, my mom was living with me also. She was living with me. So that helped offset some of the expenses, honestly. So you have to look at the whole picture. If you have another source of income, that's why I always say, again, don't just quit your day job thinking I'm going to go be a content creator. I'm going to go do whatever. It's just not that easy. When those bills start hitting and you need, you know, like I said, light, gas, etc., don't just quit your day job. But in your case, you had to, because you had to help your mom. And I understand that. So now you may have time while you're helping her, which was my case. I was able to take that time when I was helping her, because she was living with me part-time with my sister, to develop my business plan and to learn my business, to learn my craft. And then by the time I got ready to really jump off the, you know, jump off the building, so to speak, full time into it, I was good to go. Chantel says, I was just looking again for information about my future bingo hall. Yeah, so that's what did you find out about that? Family always isn't family message. Yeah, I get that too. So God bless the child has got his own. I will tell you that. You need to know how to take care of yourself. And I don't rely on nobody. I wouldn't have relied on just my mom's income or whatever, because she got tired of me sometime. I wanted to go live with my sister. So, you know, she said, I'm going to go live with your brother. So I would never completely rely on anybody like that either. You need to know how to take care of yourself. I'm a firm believer in that. So, Chantel, what have you found out about this bingo hall? What have you found out about this bingo hall? Give me something. Tell me something you have did that you find out about the bingo hall. Just ask, do you have any questions? Just ask Shar, you have any questions? Any questions about business, working 9 to 5, how to manage it all? Because it's not easy, but it's the best thing I ever did is starting my own business. And now it's so funny because one thing leads to another. It's kind of hot in here. One thing leads to another. So I started off just being a notary. And then next thing I know, people are asking me questions. I started a YouTube channel. Then I decided I'm going to write some books about it. So whatever you're doing, I want you to think big, multiple streams. When you say multiple streams of income, you know, it's a real thing. Hey, welcome everybody. So take your time. What questions do you have about working 9 to 5 and trying to start your business? Give me some scenarios that we could talk through together. What questions do we have? Any questions or comments? Have you all started working your business while you're working 9 to 5? How many of you actually have a business? If you have a business, put a 1 in the chat if you do have a business and yet you're working your 9 to 5. Put a 1 for me if you have a business right now and you're still working your 9 to 5. And then my next question would be, is that easy or hard? Stephanie, hey Stephanie. Stephanie says she is working her business while working a 9 to 5. Stephanie, what's your biggest challenge in working 9 to 5 and working your business? Do you mind sharing? Maybe we can talk through it together. What's your biggest challenge while working your 9 to 5 and working your business? Because there's a lot of challenges. Plus, you got your family, you got your own mental health, you got your own physical health. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I have moments when I'm like, oh my God, I'd rather just go back to work. However, I enjoy it so much. So I just can't. I just can't see going back.